one of the cleverest men I've ever met. Oxford educated. He runs podcasts out of his spare room. He's a classicist by trade. He writes books and he mentors. He's actually spent much of his year in Rome and Florence running art history tours, which he does alongside the work that he does for Oppidan. Mad cricketer. He says he's been to the pub with Ben Stokes a few times. He's here for 5 minutes for George's marvellous medicine. So George, over to you. What have you got?
Well, thank you for that introduction. That's hard to live up to. Well, I'm going to talk about, I would normally be in Italy, as Walter says. So I thought we should think about Italy and talk about thinking outside the box. And we're going to do that in 1377, which might sound odd, but thinking outside the box is very important in our lives, both wherever we are, really, you know, on the sports pitch, in the classroom, being creative. And I thought we should do that with art. Now, you might have heard of the 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I'm going to propose a 5th. The 4 that you know are Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo. But the 5th, I think, he got stuck on the way because he's got an unpronounceable name, but he's called Filippo Brunelleschi, and it's the mouthful that cost him. Now, Filippo is the man who's born in 1377, and he lives in Florence, and he grows up in the shadow of the biggest cathedral in the world. And it's a fantastic building, and he's very proud of it, and he's a proud Florentine. But his big problem is that, and Florence's big problem, is that the cathedral doesn't have a roof. So it lets in water, leaves, the walls are tumbling down. It's this great building, but it doesn't have a roof. And it really bothers Filippo. So he goes along to the cathedral and says, I think I know how to fix this. And they say, yeah, great, you're actually just a goldsmith. I don't think you're the one. And he says, no, I think I know how to do it. And they ignore him. 10 years later, they do what all Renaissance operators do, which is to have a competition. And if you're a sportsman or you're in any way concerned with competing, you know what it means to have a competition, right? You really want to win it. Competition drives quality. So the reason why Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, and Novak Djokovic are so good is they have to play against each other. Brunelleschi faces stiff competition. He enters this, but as do people from all around the world. The best architects come to Florence. And he releases his plan, but he doesn't go first, he goes last. First, someone says, okay, for the dome, we're going to do a very light weight. That'll do it, that'll fix it. And they say, oh, that's a really good idea. The next person says, no, that won't work. You're going to need a central pole, and that'll hold up the dome. And the third person comes up with a very eccentric idea about filling it with money, which just sounds rather stupid. It sounds like a good game show, but it wouldn't be a good dome. Brunelleschi goes at the end and says, look, mine's very simple. I need a dome and then a dome within that dome, and that'll be the support. It'll work. It's going to have 8 sides. I don't need any scaffolding. I'm done. And everyone was the stunned silence. And he said, actually, but you know what? I need to offer, we're here for the competition, but I'm going to offer a competition to you. So he presented everyone with an egg. And he said, if you can get this egg to stand upright, then you should deserve to win the competition. So all these famous architects from all around the world go around trying to balance an egg to stand it upright, and they can't do it. And Brunelleschi says, this is how you do it. And he cracks his egg. And everyone says, well, we could have done that. And he says, yeah, but you didn't do that. And importantly, I know how to build this dome. He wins the competition. He builds the dome. It's still the biggest dome of its kind in the world. He used 4 million bricks to do it. It took 16 years to make. And if you're ever in Florence, it's the most imposing thing. It's the one thing you see when you're in Florence. It's now called the Duomo after Brunelleschi. So think outside the box. Don't worry about breaking the rules. Crack some eggs.
Oh, love it.
What a legend.
Love it. I wish I could think outside the box. I've been stuck in my box for 28 years.
George, can I ask a serious question? Because I know there are lots of people who are interested in art history. How do you get kids into museums? It's one of the great challenges. Mum used to give me sweets for every temple I went to, but how do you get kids excited by museums?
I think you've got to get them, the people doing the describing. So they've got to teach you, because one of the things where we assume stupidly of children is that they don't know what they're thinking, but they're the best critics because they don't have any clutter in their heads. They've got so much honesty and truth, and they think that painting is just not very good. and sometimes it's not. But no one says that because they're afraid of it. So I think just giving them the role of being the lead, you know, tell me what you think of this painting. Take me around this gallery. What do you want to see? Is that develops some taste as well, which is fun.
Fantastic. So what I'd like you to do, everyone who's listening, is you'll see over George's right shoulder, there is a painting. I'd like you to give me just one line to describe that painting as best as you can, okay? We'll take the best answer and read that out. George, in the meantime, I've got a couple of questions, if you didn't mind. This is our quick fire round. And we're going to take questions from the audience if you'd like to. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, question one. You are a classicist by trade, so Perseus or Hermes?
Perseus.
The easiest of Hercules' tasks?
Killing the Nemean lion.
Not the stables?
I think the lion, I think it's because it comes first, maybe.
Okay. Who would you rather spend the weekend with? Alistair Cook or Ben Stokes?
I think Alistair Cook.
Yes, right answer.
Okay. What is your weirdest habit?
I start every day by doing an anagram.
Wow.
It's odd.
And, awesome. And when you're not George Varley, who would be the famous person you'd like to be?
Woody Allen.
Fantastic. Excellent.
Really
right.
Controversial, but I'll take it too.
We're going to now read out some answers. So
I can read them for you.
I'd like George. Can you read them out? George, I'd like you to give the prize for the best description.
Okay. So we've got Manahal says, a mysterious magical painting of boring bottles on a plain kitchen shelf.
Nice.
I like that.
I like that.
We've got a row of fish with their heads in the sand.
Oh.
I like that too, from one of the works. We've got 4 bottles on an orange background with a blue top from Igor.
Yeah,
I like that.
Accurate.
Luke, we've got pots on the beach, says Lily Ratable.
Gosh.
We've got colourful as a rainbow, says Hannah. Juliet says deserted. We've got an anonymous, all the best art is anonymous, right? All the best comments. Old sweets at the bottom of the sea. Oh, not anonymous, by Lucy. Lucy says old sweets at the bottom of the sea.
Oh, okay.
And then we've just got George is so cool. How does he know all this stuff? From Jack.
Thanks, Jack.
Somebody else has asked whether you can actually teach art. We've got the Westons who said bland as a banana. Thoughts?
Do you know what? It was early on, but I still think fish buried in the sand is a great idea.
Nice. I like that. That was Jazz Verk.
Jazz Verk.
That's awesome.
George, I could listen to you for hours. What else can you tell us about art with children? You do lots of our brain labs, and you've been teaching about the Baroque, about Sicily a little bit. You've been doing stuff on Caravaggio. What else have you got?
I think the thing about art that puts people off is that it doesn't contain stories. And I think art is full of stories. And the artists that are famous often are famous because of what they've done, but actually for who they are. And we neglect that too easily. We ignore these people who have got fascinating and intriguing lives. And they're often, Michelangelo had his nose broken in Florence. And you should know that. We should know that he went to a chapel every day and he got into a fight in that chapel and he had his nose broken. Because you shouldn't go to that chapel without thinking of Michelangelo being punched in the face when you're there. But people ignore all of that kind of stuff because it's the thing that people sort of, art's often too sort of analytical, too critical. Like, oh, what's in this painting? Well, we should know about the people first and then we can go to the paintings, I think.
Fantastic.
I love it. George. Big thank you. It's so cool having you with us. I know from all the comments and the things been coming in, everyone's loved hearing from you. It's so great to hear from people so much more wise than we are. And we're very grateful. So we wish you a lovely weekend, and all being well, we'd love to invite you back. So please have a great weekend. And you can find George on our Brain Labs anytime. He's basically on Zoom full time these days.
Thanks, George.
It's nice to see you all. Have a good weekend.
Have a nice weekend. Bye.